The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said to his disciples, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I say to you, everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than to have your whole body thrown into Gehenna. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than to have your whole body go into Gehenna. It was also said, 'Whoever divorces his wife must give her a bill of divorce.' But I say to you, whoever divorces his wife, unless the marriage is unlawful, causes her to commit adultery. And whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery." The Gospel of the Lord. I like the first reading that you and I just heard today, that Elijah, he kind of like us right now, worry about COVID-19, and he was hid. He was staying in a cave. He didn't want to come outside because he afraid of death too. Because they killed almost everybody, all the prophets. He was the only one left among the prophets. But God told him that go outside. Go to the mountaintop to see, to hear, because God is going by. And I'm kind of wondering why God wanted him to go outside to see all this, to see God. And then he saw earthquake, wind, and fire and all that, but he couldn't hear anything. He couldn't see anything, but all that violence, if you will. And he withdrew from it, and he went back to the cave. He stood right there in the cave. And God said, "Elijah, why are you here? Why are you standing here? You afraid of all this?" And in this mixture of all confusion, in that very quiet silence, God whispering in his ear and tell him to go, to ordain here, to pass on your power, your tradition, heal people, encourage people, send them out to do God's will. I'm wondering today, how do we see God's presence and God's will in our life today? Because a lot of time when we turn on the TV, and somehow I stopped watching TV these days. I don't know. I don't see much on TV these days. I see so much like chaos, if you will, fire, division, conflicts, corruption, and all kinds of things. I don't see much. But I think if we quiet enough to see through all this, we can hear God's voice. We can see God's presence in here. But it takes a lot of quietness in us. But the problem is, sometimes we're so comfortable with our own peacefulness, we don't want to go outside. We just want to lock outside in that room, be comfortable, be convenient with what we have and where we at. And we don't want it to make any difference out there. Let them kill each other. Let them do whatever. And I just be so contained in my own room. That's not the point. The point is God wants us to maybe open the window, open the curtain, look outside, because the world is bigger than that TV. The world is bigger than our neighborhood, so that we continue to sort out God's beauty and God's will. Redemption's here, we have a book club, and we are right now reading a book by Father Timothy Radcliffe, new book that he wrote during this time right now, called Alive in God. It's a beautiful book that he gives us a new vision, a new imagination. And so I like you to don't sit in that comfort zone. Imagine something bigger than all this happening right now. Have some hope in you. Have some faith in you. Because God's still whispering in us. But don't become so bitter. Don't become so complacent. Don't become so indifferent. Have hope that God continues to be with us in everywhere we go. I want to tell you this true story, and it happened about my seatbelt right here. One of the young men, he only 15 years old. He used to go to St. Jared here for a few years. He moved now to a different school. You know what? I met him right here in the parking lot in front of our rectory. And he said, "Where you going to school now?" He said, "Some kind of school out there." But he said, "I still remember that lady walking around the school every day, praying and exercising." Can you believe it? That maybe old lady in his mind inspired him with that rosary in her hand and walking around the property. My brothers and sisters, can we be that whispering, visible presence of God in our midst today?